What's up, guys? Today we're going over how to record in Pro Tools. Let's get it. All right, guys, let's go over how to record in Pro Tools. So I actually have the same session open as my create new track and import audio videos that I made, but I just hid and made those other tracks inactive. I just want to show you from the beginning how you can create a track and get it to record. So first thing we want to do is make sure that our Playback Engine is set up correctly. And basically that just means that we're using the correct device to run our audio through. So we'll go to Setup, Playback Engine. And right here is where we'll choose our interface. Right now that's what's selected, but it'll show you all your different options that you have on your computer here. But we want to keep it on the Scarlett 2i2. If you happen to change it, it will have to close your session and open it back up, and it'll change the Playback Engine there. But we'll leave it at this right now. This is what we want to use. And the hardware buffer size, you want it to be a little bit lower. Doesn't take as much processing power to record, but if you're mixing, you want this to be higher. But for recording, we'll keep it lower, keep it at 128. And it's asking if you want to ignore errors during playback and record. That's what I do. And if there's like clicks and pops that happen, I'll just have to like pause it and might have to like stop the recording or something, or start re-recording again. But basically, like if you're having issues with your buffer size, you might need to make it larger. If you're having a bunch of like clicks and pops happening and your computer can't handle it, there'll be warning dialog boxes that pop up letting you know what happens, and sometimes that might just like stop in the middle of your recording. And you know, if that keeps happening to you, increase your sample size here. It causes a little bit of latency, but you know, it's better to have a little bit of latency and be able to get it recorded cleanly. Right, so leave that on ignore errors. And dynamic plugin processing, yes. And then we don't need the video engine, but I just have it enabled because I'll be mixing my video soon. So just deselect it or check it to have it on. And just hit OK. So we're good to go. Like I said, if you had to change that, it'll close your session and open it back up. And then if you go to Setup Playback Engine, it will have the correct source right here. All right. So next we're going to go to Track New, or Shift Command N is the quick key for that. We're going to create one mono audio track because we're just going to record our voice, and hit create. We're going to name this recording test. Hit OK. All right, so all we have left to do is to set our input and outputs to the correct things. So on our input, I'm going to go to interface and choose input 1 because that's what I have my microphone plugged into. I'll choose that. And then my output is just going to be my built-in output. This is the output of my my interface and what my headphones are plugged into, my speakers and stuff like that. So I'll just keep it at built-in 1 and 2. We're about ready to go. All we have to do is record and enable the track. So you go to this record button here and click it. And now it'll show the meter, and I can monitor how loud I am and how soft I am without recording yet. Right? So right now I will be able to monitor myself and hear myself, and just because this is blinking, that doesn't mean it's recording. Okay? So be careful with that. You want to make sure that you're recording so you're not like hearing yourself and thinking that you're recording and then accidentally just not record yourself, right? So next thing we want to do is just go ahead and hit the record button up here and hit spacebar. And we're recording now, okay? If you happen to have a Mac keyboard, or if you happen to have a number pad, actually, the 3 number on the keypad, the 3 key is what can start and stop your recording. So when we're ready to stop, we just hit spacebar or the stop button here. And we stop recording, but we're still record enabled, okay? So again, if I wanted to stop recording and then I wanted to continue recording right here, I would just select that area on the timeline that I want with my cursor. And we are record enabled. I'll hit the record button up here, it'll start blinking, and then I'll hit spacebar to start recording. And there we are, we're recording again. When you're ready to stop, I'm gonna hit spacebar this time, stop. And there you go. So we'll show you what happens if you don't have your track record enabled and you try to record. So take that off. If I go here and I try to record again, this will start blinking, I'm not recording. And when I hit spacebar to start recording, you will get this this error box right here. It says no tracks are record enabled. So I don't know you're wanting me to record because you haven't record enabled any tracks. All right, so hit OK and then make sure that you're record enabled over here. Click this up here again and hit spacebar, and there you go. All right, and we'll hit stop. So there's actually a few different record modes, but we'll go over all the different record modes in a separate video. We'll play back our audio from the beginning. I'm gonna hit the return key, or I could hit this button here. That would go to return to 0 and go to the start of the session, and then I'll play it back, right? I'll hit spacebar to stop. And as you can see over here in our clip list, every single one of our recordings here showed up over here in the clip list. Oops. So if you were to delete this off this track here, delete that, the recordings would still be over here. Okay, so whether or not you have them in the timeline, they'll still be over here in the clip list. So if we wanted to take the second take and bring it back onto our track here, you just like click and drag over to where we want it and release your mouse to place it where you selected it. I'll hit undo because I just want to show you if you wanted to create a new track with just that, you could just click and drag that down to where that yellow border goes all over the timeline there and release, and it'll go right there. All right. If you wanted that at the beginning of the session, you drag it over to the beginning. If you wanted to grab all three of these again, drag it, you can do that. Like that, and create a new track for each one, or go ahead and delete. Hit OK, delete. If I make another track here, I wanted to drag all three of these out, I can do that. And they'll start at the same time and they'll just be vertical, right? I can let go and then deselect it and then click and drag things around how I want it. Another thing that we could do, go ahead and select all that and delete it. You can go to your clip list here. There's a little menu. If you hit that and you go down to timeline drop order, I have it on top to bottom right now. If I choose left to right, and then I selected these three clips again, and click and drag, now they'll go from left to right when I pull them into our session. All right. Hit undo. If I did that with these three and created a new track, it'd be the same thing. It would just be one track instead of three, and they'd be side by side like that. All right, let's get rid of all these tracks. Delete. Delete. So even though we deleted those tracks, these clips are still here in our session, okay? All right, guys, so that is how you record into Pro Tools. Like this video if you like it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.